Hey guys, this is my video about my Toshiba laptop. It's a little bit old, but it works perfectly fine. Kind of just want to show what's going on with it. I spent my day off from work today kind of fixing it up, so I just want to show what it's all about. This is a Toshiba Satellite Pro 4200. This model was made in 1999, and it came with an Intel Pentium 3 processor. Now, as far as the ports that are on this thing, it's got a Kensington lock slot, a vent, on-off switch, PC card slots, headphone, microphone jacks. There's your volume control. The front has just the latch to open the lid and a standard 3.5-inch floppy drive. On the right side here, we have a dial-up modem port for 56K. There's a DVD-ROM drive, which I'll review that again in just a minute. It's interesting that they decided to put a DVD in this laptop in the first place. The back is where most of the ports are. Serial DB9 port, VGA out. This is actually a composite video output, so you can hook this up to a television. It has infrared. It has a single USB 1.1 port. It's got a little plastic cover here for that if you're not using it, but I use that quite a bit actually. This is a docking station port. Toshiba made a couple docking stations that are compatible with this model, most of which have extra USB ports as well. Your power is here on the back. This is a PS2 port to connect a keyboard or a mouse, and then you have a parallel connection port, a 25 pin for printers and peripherals like zip drives that used to use those. So that's kind of an overlook of what it has physically on it. The batteries here on the bottom. This port opens up, this cover opens up, I should say, to reveal the memory modules. And as far as the inside goes, it's pretty standard. This is one of the models that came with one of the track pads instead of, or I should say a track point in the middle of the keyboard instead of a standard touchpad. So I usually do use a mouse with this. The speakers are actually pretty decent in this. Toshiba's always been known for fairly decent speakers in their laptops, especially nowadays with their Harman Kardon speakers they typically put in theirs. And that's pretty much it physically as far as this goes. It has a 13.3-inch screen, 1024 by 768 resolution. This actually has a working battery, so as you can see I have the power cord here, but I'm not going to hook it up. I'm going to throw it off to the side and we're going to boot this without the power cord attached. Now I have this set up with dual boot. You can either go to Windows 98 2nd Edition or Windows XP. Both of these are fully set up. I'm going to just go into 98 2nd Edition here, because it'll boot up just a hair faster for the purposes of this going onto YouTube for you seeing it. Now, what I was going to say about the DVD drive earlier, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this up again, is the DVD drive is great because you can read DVD discs. But the laptop's not fast enough to play DVD videos. This has only got a 450 megahertz processor, and I upgraded the RAM and the hard drive in it, but it's not fast enough to play DVD videos. So I've tried it with a couple different players. It's just not fast enough. So it's interesting they decided to throw a DVD drive into a laptop not fast enough for it. Now, as you can see, I got a whole lot of stuff loaded on here. All the games are here on the right-hand side. A lot of old stuff, a lot of old arcade games mainly, a couple card games. I've got Tetris on here, the original PC version. Need for Speed 2, that's one of the only 3D games I have on here that actually works well. It's from 97, and that works pretty well on this. No lag or anything like that. Now, a couple interesting things to note about 98 is that it has some limitations with its USB support. So I've installed a few things into this 98 that help it along with that. As it comes, this laptop has basically a very limited way for you to put files on and take files off, just the floppy drive, because the CD DVD drive is a read-only. So as far as 98 goes, it doesn't support flash drives on its own in a standard installation. So I actually do have this zip 250 megabyte USB drive, and that I purchased at a thrift store for all of $5. And that came with the installation CDs. So when I hook this up to the USB on the back here, it's going to initialize. Actually, I also have a couple of discs. Got a 250 meg zip disk here that's never been used, actually. It's still formatted brand new. Now when I open up my computer, and I think that's initialized now, it'll show as a removable disk. I can put this zip disk in. And it works just like a huge floppy. Now it's actually initialized fully. It says it's a zip 250. There on the screen. Hopefully you can read that. When we open up the 250, it says click here. This is actually just information about iOmega as a company and all the different products that they offer and what they intend for you to do with your zip drive as far as backing up and sharing files.
How many ways can you use your zip disks?
So
Choose any of these categories to find out how iOmega and our software partners.
it's kind of interesting. So this was actually in the box from the thrift store, so it came with everything. It came with a couple of discs and everything. So you can actually eject the disk through software here, because I've installed the software that came with the drive on CD. So that'll eject the cartridge. The other thing that I found at the thrift store I found very interesting was an original Microsoft wheel mouse optical, and this is USB and PS2 compatible. I always use it with PS2 because this thing only has the one USB, so I always just hook that up to the PS2 port and use that. But just for this video, I'm using the track point here. Now, I also have a wireless adapter that does work with Windows 98. This is a Netgear WG111 version 3, and it plugs into the USB. This is a wireless G adapter, and because of the size of the plastic that's around this, it actually doesn't fit directly into the laptop, so I'm using this little extension. It actually came with a Creative USB sound card that I purchased for a different computer, but I'll show when I unplug the zip drive and then plug in the wireless adapter here. It's going to initialize that. That's actually going to automatically start the configuration program as well. It's going to take it a second here, because again, this is only a 450 megahertz computer. But when I plug in that wireless G Netgear adapter, it should pop up right here in the taskbar in the system tray. Now, if it doesn't do it, then there it goes. It's got full signal because the router's just 2 rooms over, which is also a Netgear router, but it's an N router. You are now connected to the internet, so I have Firefox installed, the last version of Firefox to be supported in 98 second edition, which is Firefox 2.0.0.20. So when I'll click on Firefox here, it'll also load. Also slowly, like the Netgear Wizard did. But there it is. So we're connected to the internet with Windows 98 2nd Edition. This browser works for some stuff, but not a lot. There's a lot of changes that have been made in how web pages are rendered from when this version came out like 5 years ago till now. Now the other thing that I wanted to show is I also have this gamepad. It's a Logitech dual action USB attached gamepad, and that's also supported in 98 2nd Edition, so I've actually gotten that configured to work with Need for Speed 2. So in a separate video I'll be showing some gameplay with this, but I just wanted to give an overview of some of the stuff that I've got that's hooked up and working with this. Last thing for this purposes of this video is just to show that I have installed a modification for Windows 98 that uses some of the files from 2000 and Millennium to actually give it support for USB flash drives natively. So this flash drive is a Rocketfish. That's a Best Buy in-store brand. It's an 8 gig flash drive. Got a whole bunch of stuff on it, a whole bunch of tools that I use to do some scans and stuff for people's computers. But this also has too much plastic around it to fit into the computer. So I'm going to unplug this wireless adapter, and I'm going to plug the flash drive into this. Make sure I'm putting this in the right way. And then now this is attached to a little extension, so I'm going to plug that in. The USB, going to do this by feel. And when I plug that in, that should also initialize. Got the hourglass here. Now open up my computer. And F drive, for some reason, showing a rich text icon for the drive itself. That's weird. But it is showing the 8 gig drive, which is almost full now. Oh, there, now it changed to the standard removable disk icon. But this has a whole bunch of stuff on it. But yeah, I just wanted to show there is a file, and I'm gonna put the link to what you can search for on. I'll just put it in the description for this video, what to search for if you have a Windows 98 setup, to how to make it actually work with flash drives natively. But it's been kind of a brief overview here of the Toshiba laptop. Just want to show I've actually upgraded this past 512 megabytes of RAM. It's got 575 according to 98. It's actually 576, which is a 512 megabyte set of two 256 modules, and it had 64 megs built in. And 98 typically has a lot of problems when you go past 512, but apparently going a little bit over is okay. I've read online that there's a lot of problems going to, like, say 768 megs or a full gig when you've got 98. So this actually works really well. It's very quick for 98. The XP partition is here mainly so I can get on the internet a little better with a newer browser to download things. So I'm just gonna shut this down. And that concludes the video. So hope you enjoyed, and take care.